Okay, what's up guys? Justin here. Today we are going to talk about footwear, shoes for strongman. So if you've been wondering kind of what you should be wearing, if you need to wear the same shoes, if you need to have a fucking bag of 100 different pairs of shoes and be a diva, I'm going to let you know. So stay tuned. We're going to find out now. Okay, so I see this question posted a lot in all different forums and stuff that I'm on social media, everywhere. People are very concerned about what their footwear should be for strongman. To be honest with you, you want a shoe that's going to be stable and it's going to be comfortable and have good support. That's really what you need. So a lot of that is going to be based on your personal preference. I'm going to show you some shoes that I use and have used in the past with good results, and you're gonna have to kind of experiment. You don't need 40 different pairs of shoes. You don't need a different pair of shoes for each event. If you get yourself a good solid pair of shoes, you should be able to use them for just about every event. So I'm gonna go through a couple of different options that I use, and you guys can try them out. You can figure it out for yourself, and we'll go from there. So this first one, these are the Merrell Chameleons. You're going to see a lot of Merrells here. I love the Merrells. These are actually the first shoes I ever bought specifically for strongman. As you can see, this was before I realized that having loud shoes makes you better, because these are brown. Anyways, these are very good shoe for strongman. They're a little bit on the heavier side just because I think they're older. I think that's the main reason why they're a little bit heavier. They're beefier. They got a good cool lacing system here with the pull cords, so no tying, good support, and most importantly, especially when they are new, that Vibram sole. This is why I love the Merrells. They have the great sole, very good traction. These have great support, and like I said, I've had these. These are probably 9 years old or so, and they've been pretty much used exclusively for strongman. And as you can see, obviously they're dirty and the soles are a little bit worn out, but there's still plenty of tread on there. Nothing has fallen apart. The shoes are still intact in one piece. So if you want something that's going to last you a long time, I would suggest going with Merrell for sure. They have a bunch of different options. I'm going to show you a couple more that I currently use as well. So this is a really good shoe to start with. Merrell Chameleon. They have a newer version now. I believe they're up to like the 4, 5, 6, something like that. This is like the 1. So this is very old. Okay, so Merrells. I used to use these for everything. Pressing, moving events. It didn't matter. The only thing I didn't use shoes for back in the day was deadlift. I used to do that barefoot, just in socks or whatever. Okay, so next thing we're going to go is Olympic lifting shoe. As you can see, I figured out loudness is more betterer. So these are the Adidas Power 3, I believe, 3.1. This was the only color that they had that was not gray or black or fucking something boring. So these are the ones I got. Honestly, I've used Olympic shoes almost my whole strongman career for pressing. I used to use them a lot for stones as well. Lately, I've gotten into more of the barefoot style shoe. So I haven't used these quite as much for overhead. These ones in particular are a little bit narrow too in the toe. So if you have wider feet, which I've actually noticed from using the barefoot shoes a lot, that my toes have kind of spread out over time, and my feet have kind of spread out a little bit. So these are actually a little bit uncomfortable, a little tight, but I do still use them once in a while, either for pressing or like a narrow stance squat. So if you have bad ankle mobility, that's mainly what the Olympic shoe is for. These are a lot smaller heel than like your full Olympic lifting shoes that are like $250. These are, I got these on sale for like $65. I think the normal price of these are like $90. And I believe it's a 3/4 inch heel, and I want to say a full Olympic heel is like 1.5 inches, so it's about half as much. Still very solid. It's got the the wood core in there. Good traction on these. They're not they're not slippery. They're flat obviously, but they're not slippery. Like I said, good for squats, good for overhead stuff. I personally do a push jerk, so I used to love the Olympic shoes. Like I said, recently I'd say in the last 4 or 5 months or so. I've been using these less and less just because of the tightness, and I think I feel more comfortable now as I've gotten into using like the barefoot style of shoe. So these haven't gotten as much use, but like I said, if you have some issues with your ankles, or you just like squatting and or pressing with a raised heel, these are a good cheap option. I have another pair of these actually that are almost as old as the Chameleons, the first ones I showed you. And while they're still together, the soles have been glued together a couple times, but they're still functional if I wanted to use those. The only reason I upgraded these was because of that reason. So the same style shoe, the Power Lift, I think, like I said, these are 3.1, right on Adidas website. Like I said, these are about $90 regular price instead of $200 for like a Nike Romale or whatever the hell you call those ones. So Olympic shoes, if you need them. Like I said, a lot of this is all going to be personal preference and kind of trying things out. You're not going to need every type of shoe. Like I said, if you get yourself one solid shoe to do everything, and then kind of go from there as you get into the sport a little bit more, you can figure out if you're going to need an Olympic shoe, if you need a shoe for truck pulls or something like that. I would recommend buying everything right off the top. So let's go to these next, okay? So, like I said, I'm getting into the Barefoot shoes. These are the Merrell Vapor Glove, okay? So as you can see, same sole, that Vibram sole. These are super good traction-wise. I've actually been using these for almost all of my general lifting, including deadlifts, which haven't really done deadlifts with shoes in a long time until I got these and tried them out. A lot of guys at the gym at Lightning have the Vivo Barefoots, which are cool. I think these, I personally think these are better. They're cheaper. The Vibram sole is fantastic, as I said, and they're just cooler looking. I mean, the Vivos don't really have cool colors. I don't know. I'm really big on fucking loud shoes, so. These are super, super light. As you can see, they're very, very flexible. It's going to be like, basically when you put these on, it feels like you just have this Vibram sole glued to the bottom of your foot. You don't go anywhere on deadlifts, anything where you need to plant, squatting in these, overhead press, just about everything I do at the gym are in these, except for heavier moving events. So I'm going to get into that shoe next. Like I said, these are fantastic. I want to say these are about $100 too, so not crazy expensive. You know, and I'm sure being the Merrells, they're gonna last for a while. That's, like I said, that's one of the reasons I love that company. They make things that that last a long time. I don't like to buy a whole mess of things all the time. So things need to last. If they don't, I get rid of them and get something else. Okay, so these are the last ones that I'm gonna show you. These are fire. This is the Trail Glove 4. So same kind of idea as the Vapor Glove. Again, very flexible, super light. It's going to have a little bit more support, arch support, a little bit more of an actual sole on it, so they're not quite as barefoot as the other ones. And this tread on here is a lot more aggressive compared to the Vapor Glove, as you can see. So these I like to use for heavy moving events. I find that because it has a little bit more cushion, it doesn't hurt the Vapor Gloves. If I do super heavy like yoke or something, I find my feet and my shins hurt a little bit the next day. These, they don't at all, just because there's a tiny bit, it's not much more cushion, but it's a little bit more cushion. And they also have much better traction, as you can see, for moving events, for stuff like if you're doing like a medley, like a keg sandbag medley or something like that, and you're running back and forth and trying to be an actual athlete. These are going to have a lot more grip. I've actually been using these on stones as well, trying them out. I actually might try out the Vapor Gloves for stones the next time I do stones, just because, like I said, they're a little lower to the ground, easier to pick the stone off the ground. But these are fantastic for heavy moving events, all around. Like I said, tread, lightness, flexibility. As long as your feet are used to more of the barefoot style, so you wouldn't want to go from like a real cushy basketball type sneaker right to doing heavy stuff with something like this. What you want to do is kind of transition, do like more of your gym stuff with like a flat sole or barefoot shoe, and then kind of transition from there into doing heavier events with it and see how you feel. A lot of people are going to need a little bit more support. I find like I said, for me personally, the barefoot style is a little bit better. I just like it better. I feel more comfortable. I spend a lot of time at home and when I'm not in the gym barefoot, so it's just comfortable to me and I'm used to it. So that's it, guys. I mean, I would start out with something like this that's a little beefier, okay? So the Chameleon, like I said, this is going to be a little bit heavier duty. I believe they sell this in an upper, high top or mid-range version as well. I like all low top versions of my shoes for whatever reason. I don't really get high tops or mids. I find my ankle strength and flexibility is fine with the low tops. So that's it, guys. I would, like I said, try something out. Merrell is a great company to go with. I don't get paid to say that or anything. I just really like their products. They seem to last a long time. Like I said, these are about 9 years old, 10 years old. These two are probably about 3 months old or so, 3 or 4 months I've been using those. And I got, like I said, the Adidas, the older version of these are about 8 or 9 years old too. So try out a couple different things. If you like the barefoot stuff already, go with something like that. If not, the more of a like the Chameleon style, even like something like a Adidas Sambas, the soccer shoes, those might be a good place to start. Just something, like I said, something that's going to be comfortable for your feet, that you know is not going to bother your feet, and that's not, $400 for a pair of sneakers. Start out with one shoe for everything. See how that feels. If you feel like you need a little bit more in one area, if you feel like you need an elevated heel for a squat or for overhead press, then try out something like the Adidas Power, because they're going to be a little bit cheaper than going full bore and getting the Adidas, what I don't know what their weightlifting shoe is called, but it's like $250. And if you buy it and you find you don't need it, it's kind of a waste. So start with something that's going to be a little bit cheaper and go from there. So you don't have to get everything right off the bat. So I hope this helped you guys. If you have any other questions, or if anybody out there has any specific shoes and brands that they like to use, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll get back to you on that. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope everybody has a great day, and yeah, see you later.